morning. Let's see. Thing. We're starting to see gold come alive. Since we got the FOMC yesterday. Oh damn, looks so different here on the daily on. Let me see if FXCM is back live. Yeah, FXCM is back on. All right, so yeah, the daily here looks so different. Like since FOMC meeting minutes now, we had a bullish candle closure. So that is what you call it. That's creating that exuberance again that we love to see on Goldie. I'm sure some things were mentioned yesterday that kind of like, you know, supported the rate decisions for rate cuts on the USD, and that's kind of what's prompting up gold here. I didn't personally watch FOMC meeting minutes, but you know, we kind of just like to see how that affects the market the next day anyway, because these things are going to take time to get assimilated into price action, as we already know, since we had the first initial FOMC rate cut that created the move up, which was like right over here, correct? So you don't have to like be on there on that specific day. Like that volume will just carry on, and you know, you kind of just gonna know where it came from. So right now, what I'm anticipating is for price here to continue to move up, possibly up towards next week as well, break above resistance by that's 50.94, and then just keep moving up to fill up the rest of this range. That's what we're going to be expecting. So we got clean traffic, we got meeting minutes. Today we just have some other red folders, unemployment claims, but I think we pretty much got everything for the rest of the month here to proceed. Yeah, next week we probably wouldn't have. Is it already the last week of February? Holy, yeah, we got one more week of February over here. All right, so we got next week literally nothing in terms of red folders, maybe unemployment claims again, but nothing. So I think what we're kind of waiting for at this point in time is Trump to kind of do something, you know. We want Trump to stir the pot. If Trump can stir the pot, then, you know, that's going to be pretty nice. We're going to get some fundamentals in, some macros, and I think we're going to have a pretty good time. So we're just going to wait for Trumpy. But right now, it is still in this kind of like range. We have support over here. We got resistance, and it's just the same thing that silver is doing over here. If you look at silver on the daily, same thing. But you see with silver on the daily, he's just playing out the shotgun play currently. It's in motion. Yeah, it's in motion right now. It's heading towards some kind of a resistance here, like this, right? But overall, it's also ranging, boom, boom, boom. But we can see commodities are starting to pick up a little bit more. So yeah, that's good to see. Yeah, it looks like it was a range bound week. Anyway, since Monday over here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've just been range bound in between these support and resistance over here. But you know what happens when we're range bound like this, chat? We're gonna get some bumperclot moves soon. Bumperclot! That daily, that HTF is gonna give us some real good bumperclots once it start breaking above 51.22. And we're gonna be ready for those, because now we're taking like a small break, which is also a healthy break, because the market didn't have it didn't get a chance to have a break in a while. It's just been moving, which is also good. So yeah, it's taking a break, and then it's gonna continue over here. And I bet you that's gonna line up with something. I bet you this break right here, it's gonna line up with something. I'm pretty sure something like Trump's gonna do something, or something is gonna happen. That's what I'm anticipating. So we'll just wait and see how that plays out. It's always interesting to see how the market is ahead of reality sometimes, or how in sync it is with certain macros in the real world. So we're gonna watch that when we approach 50, 50, 50, 100 over here. But yeah, let's see. For right now, not seeing much of anything. Let's see. Sent to me by my friend breaking. According to Axios, Donald Trump has called a meeting with his advisors discussing the escalating crisis with Iran. The report states that potential U.S. military operations against Iran could be massive in scale. lasting a few weeks and would resemble a full-scale war rather than a limited precision strike, like one carried out in Venezuela earlier this year. Officials expressed deep skepticism about the ongoing talks in Geneva, saying they are unlikely to yield results. Yeah, I feel like this thing that's with Iran right now, it's there's a lot of distractions on social media, but I think there's something big cooking up over there. That's why I think, man, Goldie is about to skyrocket once they start breaking these highs. Get those confirmations line up. And it's most probably, you know what I think is going to do? This is going to be on the weekend again. This is just going to be one of those surprise weekends. Then we're going to get they're going to get the market open gap and it's just going to skyrocket. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a sneaky one like that. The official added that Iran's foreign minister conveyed many positive messages to Trump envoys, including Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff. But it's just the devil is in the details, and the ball is now in Iran's court. Iran war will make gold go to new time highs. Yes. Isn't it? That's the only thing that we have. What else is there? Anybody in the chat know? What else is there? I think this is the only rate cuts, June, July, but that's going to take a while to the summer months. Only thing on the horizon is this. This is war. You know, this is how the US government also makes its money, you know. It makes money through war. Makes its money through war. This is a business. So this has always been the thing that's been consistent, you know, always in the background. Because what else do we got? Like, imagine if we didn't have these geopolitical tensions. Just like, imagine for a second, if we didn't have geopolitical tensions, we would have moments of so much quietness between rate decisions, for the most part, if we didn't have like all this commotion going on in the real world, right? So, yeah, unfortunately, that's how the system is designed, and now we're just, you know, gonna have to wait. Gonna have to wait for this. Nobody wants it, but it's how the market moves. So yeah, let's go. Let's see. Let me see anything else over here. COMEX gold futures likely now trending upward. So the futures positive price action on the daily chart on Wednesday showed bullish candlestick pattern, indicated selling pressure is trapped as long as the commodity remains above support by 4,800. Where are we at currently? Oh, we're just above 5K now. So we're taking over 5,000 psychological mark right over here. So still respecting 5K psychological. Let's see, MCX withdraw additional margins on gold. With bullion prices correcting and market conditions stabilizing, the rollback of additional margin lowers capital requirements for traders, potentially improving participation and liquidity in domestic gold and silver futures. The move is expected to ease trading costs for both hedgers and speculative participants. Gold has done a very, very nice retracement right now. It's correcting the range. It looks like it's currently in motion on a shotgun play to the downside right now. Or rather, there was a shotgun play to the downside there, pretty clean. Here on the 5-minute. So it's just mopping up some of this range right now. Broke first time, boom, little choppiness, pull back. Broke the second time, much cleaner distribution towards heading towards like just, you know, still respecting 5,000. Would have been a magnet 5K for the sellers right over here. Nice little rejection wicks as well. That's retracing, and you know, overall we are moving up bullish. So I got the daily bias gold spot, it is bullish. We're up 0.70%. Yeah, so I would actually expect further upside. Let's see how price has been moving through the Asia session. Asia been quite parabolic actually since we took our buy this morning. It was just like straight parabolic PA. Take a buy like right over here as price started to break above this little shotgun entry, and then it just skyrocketed up. So it's just been moving bullish, and now it had its first sell-off right here by 250. Pretty clean. It's much cleaner move down. Let's see if there's any accumulation confluence. Oh, there's one right over here. Little accumulation confluence break out to the downside. Little counter trend move. That pushed around like 20 pips before the pullback. And then came down. Little shotgun play. There's nothing here. Doon. Maybe if you're taking a break of the highs as a buy, could have got away with this. Small reversal confirmation right over here as well for these previous sellers. Yeah, so far so good. Like no shock in the water. It seems to be pretty fine. No, not like so far this whole week has been kind of like sharky-ish. It's been sharky-ish. So as we're heading towards the end of the week, I think it's time to also like open up a little bit more. Gotta come down to retest support. Got a support right here. A price to come down to 5K. What I think of GJ? Yeah, GJ looks good. GJ looks like it's about to go up here. Once it starts breaking that daily resistance, pound yen should be off to the races as well. Here you go, about like 436 pips. Pound yen is currently 0.26%, but there's like a reversal confluence here as well. We got reversal confluence below support right here, so it is gearing up. Could be a small little accumulation break as well once you get through that wick. But there's a candle here about to close. Gonna close like resistance like this. Break those wicks and it's gonna most likely correct. Because I think pound has been moving up, right? For the most part. Let's see here on the quarterly. Yeah, it's been pushing up. It's been trying to push up. Just got a small retracement here on this monthly, but it's overall quite bullish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 previous bullish months. And now that daily looks like it could be giving like some really good HTF opportunities. You could actually take this plays on the HTF too, you know. It's just gonna take longer. Longer to play out. Waiting for German 40. See, 5-minute close above, a 3 liquidity grab, and close above, we blast off. See, 4 hour. Yeah, you can see the accumulation better here on the 4 hour on GJ. Boom, breakout. Beautiful correction on the 4 hour there, clean range. Looks like Goldie rejected support. It's kind of got like now this next resistance point. Let's see on the 30. Got a little bit of clean range if it can get through 50.22 over there. Go like 70 pips. 70 pip move. Ali's clean range. 4 hours looking beautiful. Clean traffic to keep moving up there too. 159 pips and break above here. Keep pushing up. Yeah, we should be going for that that resistance there. Just closely monitor these talks with Iran and Trump. He's kind of quiet, right? Like he's been a little quiet of late. Before he was a little bit more volatile, as when he was planning on taking over Greenland and everything. Like during that period, it's kind of come down a bit. Now, I'm not seeing him too much in the headlines. He is consolidating. Something big will come out. Yeah, he's cooking. Yeah, and this is, he has pretty good PR team as well. Because he needed to cool down, you know? When he was going a little wild there with Greenland. He needed to cool down. They cool down for a bit, and then he'll come back with the same shenanigans, and that's how he keeps getting away with it. We'll see. He's gonna move the market, but let's see. Nas. Let's see what NQ is up to. So we had some analysis here on NQ for price to keep going up there on the 4-hour. Looks like it is currently in motion. Small break and retest. And he still looks like he wants to move up. Yeah, it's correcting some of this range here on the 30-minute as well. Small little shotgun play here. One failed and then one push, but with low volume on the next execution candle over here. Closed like a doji. But it is currently trying to mop this area up towards like 25.033. It's moving up. Well, actually, nice distribution right here. Nice distribution on the break. Clean as well. Boom, boom, boom. So currently, Nasdaq is on. It's on, what do you call it? It's on distribution. It's on a distribution phase right now, heading towards resistance. They gotta get some re-entries there on the. This is like 15 minutes already in motion. Yeah, we got 15 breaking above. Daily trend is up 0.44%, which is not that much. Now the 15 minutes gonna look a lot cleaner. 15 close above here. Rebreak to keep pushing. Whereas Goldie looks like it's breaking into this sideways channel here at this moment. So it's a range of 155 pips. So looking for maybe potential sells below that support. Trump is like that one dog that chases cars all day. The dog. Let's see what you got here today. Don't you just love it when that happens? Oh, so close. Too perfect. Too perfect of an entry. Because I think what happened here was like it broke this high. And for whatever reason, that might have been the confirmation right here. So it's coming to possibly mitigate this area. Because I see that's where we got like strong bullish candle and then some kind of a continuation. Yeah, so it's probably like for future, maybe gonna consider, I don't know what you're doing here exactly, but maybe just consider the wicks. Where that previous wick was. That's probably like where it's most likely gonna retest that region. Yeah, so close. Found a point A, but got in a little early. Anything I could have done better? Should I be waiting for a 5-minute structure? 5-minute liquidity grab shows the actual move. Maybe you could give it like a second chance. I think that's what you should have done. Is give your trade a second chance. Maybe wait for a 5-minute closure. Confluence in line with a 5-minute closure. Where like when it closes with that shotgun play, it's a much higher probability trade. See, I think that's it. That's what you could have done. Kev just says he missed it today. I think I'm very prone to revenge trades, so I try not to re-enter. Appreciate the feedback. If you feel really good, yeah, it's true. Like if you feel if you feel really good about the trade, and you feel like these are just some kind of hunts going on for now, then you could like try and get back with a higher confirmation. But you also want to limit the amount of times that you do that as well. It's only like special occasions you think like price is good. Like for example, the special occasion could have been like FOMC meeting minutes that we had yesterday, and seeing that gold is moving up, knowing what we know about gold and where we want to be heading, and having that as a catalyst. And especially because we're already trending there on the daily by that point, could have been a good reason that you could give a trade like a second chance with a strong confirmation. But I definitely want to limit the amount of second chances you give for sure, because sometimes the market conditions are just garbage, you know. But let's see, 1920. Tomorrow we got core PCE, inflation data, flash manufacturing. Okay, that's gonna be the main event over there by like 8:30. Inflation data. Retail sale, unemployment claims. The difference, the forecast is not that big. 227 to 223 may probably come out like neutral. But we're expecting good numbers for the dollar. See if anything changed following the FOMC meeting minutes. Nah, we still got June at easing 59, 60%, July at 74%. Ours, nothing's changed. April, March. See, Feb 19th, Trump departs Washington. Oh, Trump has got en route Rome, Georgia. Departs from Rome, Georgia, en route White House. Participants in a Board of Peace event. Participates in a podcast interview. Ooh. Whose podcast do you think he's going on? Maybe Joe Rogan again? Participates in a local factory tour. Must be so cool, like if you're gonna host the president for a podcast and you can see it in his roll call. Yeah, 2:30 Trump's gonna come over. Probably going on the Joe Rogan or something. I don't know. We'll see. Joe Rogan did not want to have Trump on his podcast for such a long time. Because of how big he is. And obviously, he didn't want to support a certain side. But I think Joe got a pretty nice bag. Nelk boys. Has he been on the Nelk boys? I feel like he would have been on the Nelk boys. I told you yesterday to buy gold. You gotta send in a chart. Don't say, look at this, buy this, sell that. Just send us a chart. Send us a chart with your entry and before and after pictures here on the Discord. Because a lot of people are right about the direction, just wrong about the trade. That's where the real problem is. Up 61% this month. Oh, nice. Let's go, sir. Very good. Let's get it. Let's get it. Feel like he might need to bring some action because recently he has been getting taken for a mug. Yeah, this thing's cooking up a little bit more here. Let's see on the 1 minute. Only thing that looks really clean are those cells below support. At least on the 5 minute. Yeah, platinum breaking out quite nicely over here. Breakout on platinum. Break by 2088. Distributing quite nicely on that. Entry confirmation. Nice little SMA confluence. That looks pretty good on the 1 minute too. Nice little liquidity grab as well. Had a small liquidity grab below here. Of course, breaking the highs. Most recent PA on platinum that's made this move. You always look at this moves and say like, okay, you know, like how could you have caught this move? You know, because that kind of stands out a lot, right? It stands out a lot more than it's like it stands out a lot because that's the distribution. That's what you get paid from. So it's always like, how can you get that move, right? How can you get this move with like some kind of a structure in place? You know, like something like this V-shaped reversal. Like how could you have caught this move here for price to move up? So, you know, on the 5 minute there, only other thing is maybe a small shotgun play here. But let's investigate on the 1 minute if you could have caught that move using some kind of a TFX breakout. The 1 minute was just pushing up. Nothing. Still creating structure. Oh, now this is starting to get interesting here. Creates maybe some potential resistance by 2062. Small little accumulation fake out. Fake to the downside, then rip back up. So definitely something cooked up there. You can even see with that volatility and how that came in. Over to the side as movement broke. Distributed heavy to the upside. Fat retracement down. See how many pips is that? Looks like a pretty big move for platinum. Yeah, this would be nice little break potentially. Maybe like right here. Starts re-breaking the highs. Boom. Then distribute. Yeah, so there was one accumulation breakout. Actually like two. This was a quite fast one though. Boom. It just a fake out and then moved up. Currently platinum is up as well. We got like a bullish bias on platinum. It's up about 1.32%. There's a second breakout right here. Oh, the other breakout right here. That was, I think, that's not even the most recent one, right? Getting another one right here. Boom. Small one did like a small little push. I'm not sure how many pips this is. It's like 140 pips on platinum on that break. Pretty nice. It's kind of like gold. Kind of moves like gold. Here comes the second breakout above that high. There you go. Boom, distributing. Look at that. It's kind of like gold. But yeah, I think platinum's performing even better than gold. It's probably like second on the list. You got like silver, gold, silver, platinum, gold overall. US 30's cooking me. Got slipped and trade is not playing out. But A setup. Oh, you got it? Oh, nice. What happened here? You thought he was gonna cook you. The entry I wanted, TP with good entry. Close it here since it's how I backtested. This is, oh, US 30. Some kind of a resistance up over here, taking a sell. Entry you wanted, so you got slipped. Yeah, it was annoying. I also got, so slippages. It happens, but out of 5 trades, I think slippage for me maybe like 1.5 or something like that. Probably. It happens. It's the most annoying thing when it happens. Happened to me yesterday. That's why sometimes I always feel like getting in before it breaks. Like if it's a good setup, sometimes like if it's like yesterday, sometimes you just get in. You just get in, think it's a good break. But yesterday's was wild because it came right to the freaking wick. And then it stopped right at the wick. But yeah, I think the best case scenario with slippage is like just wait for the break. Monitor it as well. So if it does end up breaking hard, I think what I should have done with like yesterday's position was to just monitor it, like because I was not properly locked in. I think I should have monitored it on the break, wait for it to pull down because it did pull down, get stuck in properly, get my seat proper, and then secure the 1-to-1. Because of slippage, I got taken out BE. Hey, it moves fast, don't worry, because most of the time as well, like if it does move fast, I've noticed like it also comes down. So it moves fast to create that, sometimes that slippage, but like it does come back down like momentarily, and then it moves back up again. I think I wanted to actually getting like a lot of the stop orders, sometimes like lasting through the stop orders. Small little liquidity grab on the 5 right there too. This thing is slightly a bit range bound here, getting ready to pop. The commodity and intraday targets and key levels. Wang Tao is Reuters market analyst for commodities and energy technicals. Oh, Wang Tao. Remember Wang Tao? Looking at oil here. Oil is still hovering around $60 a barrel, it seems. Or wait, this is its target at 65. Support resistance by 64. Most likely still hovering around like $60 a barrel though. Oh yeah, just about 65. 948. Let's see. Support resistance target 65.80. It got 65.94. Oh, nice. Nice one, Wang Tao. This was released when ago? How long ago was this? This was 7 hours ago. Oh, nice. Got a signal here from Wang Tao. 65.80 smashed. TP smashed. Said support was what? 64? 64. Just down over here. It's a lot further down. So I know it's probably given out throughout the Asia. So that's actually played out beautifully. Don't know much about these other things. 4907 gold. What else is trading? Corn, wheat, coffee, cacao, soybeans. I think like oil is also in some kind of little sideways, little breakout, but definitely not the cleanest though, because of the way it kind of like swung here a lot. but it's kind of distributing or trying to distribute from this general area over here. So this is also in a distribution phase right now on oil. That daily is about to break a higher time frame distribution. We might see oil pop up quite a lot once it breaks above like $66 there. Head towards like target of $70 a troy ounce. Looks like that's gonna be the psychological mark. Because we have a lot of like traffic here. Actually, no, it's a clean range. We got daily clean range. Daily clean range up towards like $70 a barrel. So I do anticipate once we break about that high by 66.300, we should be on the way up. This was the previous analysis I think we did over here on oil. So breakout. That's been in distribution since $58. We're trading right under that $60 psychological mark. Oil loves to hold like 60. Like the 60s over there. So yeah, we might be seeing this thing pop up. You should gotta pay attention to like OPEC. Oil prices extend gains on concerns of potential US-Iran conflict. Oil prices rose in Asia trade on Thursday as US and Iran attempted to ease a standoff in talks over Tehran's nuclear program, while both sides heightened military activity in key oil-producing region. The main concern for oil market is that a flare-up in tensions could disrupt shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. About 20%. You see this thing right here? It could disrupt shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. That's when Bloomberg terminal would come in handy, because you'll be able also to like track the shipments on there. You could do some smart money concepts. About 20% of the world's oil consumption passes through that waterway. Wasn't there a time that we got a ship kind of block the strait? There was like a strait. I can't remember what strait that was, but it blocked the strait, and that really affected price. I think it's called the strait. I don't know. It's like a channel. It's like a main channel, and there's a ship stuck in there sideways. It was like sideways in the channel. But you know what? I think that was all planned. I think, when something like that usually happens, I feel like that's all kind of like planned, Like imagine this, right? A hedge fund with all the money and resources they have to make something like that happen and to make a move on the market, because that's going to affect supply and demand, correct? When you have money, you'll be surprised how a lot of things are possible. Get away with a lot of things. In my country, if you have money, man, you can drive on the road without a license if you want. Just as long as you got like, maybe like $40. If you ever get pulled over by a cop, you can do anything if you have money. US President Donald Trump does not want a sharp rise in crude prices. And even if military action occurs, it would be likely to short-term airstrikes. A little bit of progress was made during Iran talks in Geneva this week, but distance remained on some issues, the White House said on Wednesday. So it looks like this war as well obviously going to be affecting oil. Meanwhile, 2 days of peace talks in Geneva between Ukraine and Russia ended without a breakthrough. The Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky accusing Moscow of stalling US mediated efforts to end the 4-year-old war. Oil prices extend gains on concerns of potential US-Iran. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I told chat, like that's the main thing. That's the main thing. So keep following. Oh, nice. Gold moving up over here. Hey, Abariako. Abariako explorers. Abariako. I show speed. What was I saying? Yeah, this is something that we got to really pay attention to, because if something happens over the weekend, next week we're going to expect like really explosive sharp moves on gold. So lock in. because of if some headlines drop over the weekend, that Asia session is gonna skyrocket. I see it's like following the FOMC meeting minutes. This is like FOMC meeting minutes volume to the upside. That's carrying over, but yeah, we shall see. There's always something cooking up, so next week can be a real interesting week. He's still melting. It's a nice little shotgun play over here. There's a bit of clean range as well. From here, break above that minor resistance to this point and also that point. I think that's some profit taking because there was space from this range here. We had how many pips? Like about 23.5 pips towards that resistance. Habariyako. Man, I was watching a bit of Alex FXG and in his stream yesterday, it was like 200,000 people. I'm like, man, who's watching this guy? 200,000 people? I show speed. The guy who was literally, when he goes to a country, he brings a stadium of people with him. He doesn't even get 200k. Like, he gets 200k on a good stream. On a regular stream, he's getting like 50k. And Alex FXG, just in a normal stream, is getting like 200k. Man, those are bots. Those are bots. I think there was another stream he did. He had like 300,000 people watching him. Man, ISO speed doesn't even get that. When he gets it, but when he goes on tour, he gets it. But I think those are like bots. It's kind of like inflating the numbers over there. That's a lot of people. If 300,000 people are watching you live, man, like, you're fucking famous, bro. Like, you barely can leave the house because everybody gonna know who you are. Like, if you see what happened to iShow Speed, it's a lot of people. NPCs, mad NPCs, lots of bots. Lots of bots. Yeah, anyway. What's price trying to do? It's trying to break above 50. Trying to break above 50.21 here. See if price is going to keep moving up. There's some clean traffic here on the 15. Yeah, there's a little bit of clean traffic here. Boom, break above 50.21. About 5 minutes still rejecting. FX Alex G. After it dropped to 5k. Yeah, now 5k is going to be protected by the buyers, it seems. I feel like the week is going to end above $5,000. Let's see that weekly candlestick here. It needs to reflip. Still no top wick on the weekly. This thing created like a very strong bottom wick here. Small little liquidity grab too. It's about to reflip, you see? And when it reflips, our volume should be kicking in like quite nicely as well. We always love to see that HTF candles flip because the intraday time frames are just gonna move. So yeah, we're not too far off. We just need to push up about 194 pips from where we are. Respect 5k. You see a beautiful respect of 5k, even like with that really deep drawdown, like 48.39. So respect 5k over here. This way that's gonna flip, and you see on the weekly it still looks pretty clean. We like even like a shotgun play on the weekly. We get like a proper Freaky Friday volume. And so Fridays are also quite nice because sometimes the weekly candle is rangy, and then as the candle is about to close, then we get the pushes, right? For Freaky Friday. So I feel like Thursday was pretty good, like morning, the early sessions, price was trending quite nicely. I feel like Friday is going to be the same. Because people are going to try and get stuck in, depending on what the word on the street is in Wall Street. If, you know, there's going to be potential escalations over the weekend. I'm not too privy on what's currently cooking up, but there could be something happening over the weekend. So we might be seeing that pricing in for potential Asia moves as well. to the upside. But the clues are going to be left in the PA anyway. Towards the end of the day, towards the end of Friday PA, as we go to what market close, you will be able to see it in the candles. So you can't hide it, right? Like even when you got a lot of money moving the markets, you can't hide it because it's going to move the markets and the candlesticks. So that's kind of going to give it away. I was just rejecting the high of the accumulation. So yeah, accumulation low, accumulation high. It's the area we're cooking up in. Getting ready for that, hopefully that breakout to the upside. I feel bad for closing them all. This is oh, that nice sell. Close it here since damned if you do, damned if you don't. I close it and it moved and you're like, damn. Wish I held it. Why do we do this to ourselves as traders? Why? Just secure it, accept it, and move on. Look at this trade. Man, if I held this trade, I could have made like 20%. Could probably have made like 20% or like 15%. I could have made like a lot. But yeah, it just went. I'm kind of like happy to see it go. You know, you kind of like just get your piece of the cake and then you just watch it. You just watch it go. It's also good because it gives you like some kind of yeah, it gives you confidence to know that it's going right, that it went. And then the other days like this, obviously now you're happy that you secure. You see, you secure it, pull down, you secure it, pull up, secure, pull down, pull up. I think that's kind of what you're trading for, because the market will pay you. So you're like here, okay, here I took a loss, and then here this will continue pushing down a bit more as well. She kind of bled off. But it is some kind of you know, the thing is like when the market is moving, then you can expect more of those like obviously continuations. Like then I would feel bad, because it's like if you're quite confident, let's say even like after rate cuts, for example, right? You get a rate cut on the dollar and you see prices really moving, and then you secure like just normally, then those are the days I feel bad, because those are the days that you should be maximizing as much as possible and just be happy to be wrong. You know, like just let it go. Even if it comes to your break even, just let it be open, because now you're trading on the side of macro fundamentals. So you know there's definitely a higher chance it's going to go in your direction. Maybe those days, if you close early, you're going to feel like a little bad. And they say like for the most part on gold spot, like even here, secured, pull back up, secured, pull back down. Since we're not really getting that much of that directional bias. So it's always good to secure. You see like secure, pull up over here. Secure, you see secure, pull down. Like for the most part, you see when there's no directional bias, you're always getting like some of these like pullbacks. Like came up towards that resistance as well. Tap resistance, start pulling back down. So I think, yeah, it depends. You got to really know market condition you're trading in. Like secure, then pull back on that candle. We'll probably survive that pullback. And you see something like that, you'd like hold, because now you know fundamentals are driving PA. It's like, okay, we get the pullback, most likely still going to go in that direction. Then there are these surprise attacks as well sometimes. But you see, it's like breaking out from a. It's like an accumulation right here. I think there's a small one happening in there too, but it's like a reversal play on this area right over here. You see how like that market kind of like mirrors itself right in between. So it's like a small reversal play. Boom, boom, boom. And it's pretty nice over there. Clean range, I suppose that was. If you go maybe on the 30-minute, would have been clean range. Something a bit higher up. Simple concepts which are done right and happening over and over and over again. And these are also really nice moves. So when I started learning how to hold runners, this is what I used to wait for. Like, I remember the first time I ever tried to learn how to hold runners was the first time I used to attempt this was during the Asia session. So I was like, okay, so now I gotta learn how to hold my positions. It was during the Asia session. I was trading gold, and there was a range similar like this. Right? There was a range similar like this. So that was my first ever like real attempt at holding runners. And I secured, I remember that day I secured somewhere around like midway of the range. But then I started noticing like, man, these ranges really do be getting filled up. And then that gave me confidence. It gave me confidence to now start holding my runners, because now I had that education. So I was like, okay, you know, I think this makes sense. So let me see how often that plays out. Then every one trade a day, I will leave as a runner trade if I can get the similar kind of a market condition like this. Then I started doing that, and you know, it started becoming easier. It started becoming easier to hold these runners sometimes. See, like right over here, you see that runner as well. Pretty nice clean range. See how it's mopping it up, and you say, okay, you know, this is pretty nice over here. So I think I'm just gonna, you know, get comfortable with the idea that price can fill those ranges. So whenever I need to hold a runner, then I know that I'm holding based off of that probability from the data that I collected, you know. It secured 14 pips with SMA support, although the range was not the best looking, but could have held a bit more. See what you got over here, Moma. Nice little liquidity grab, break of the highs, TP 14 pips. Amazing. Yeah, very well done. That's a good chart. We're going to put the fat cat emoji because you're eating over here. Break, liquidity grab, TP. This was the same damn trade. Y'all took the same trade. Y'all took the same trade. They executed the same spot. Yeah, you actually did. Basically the same trade, same execution. Kevja was about to hold it for a bit longer though. You got spooked out here. Man, imagine. Imagine, just had to wait a bit longer. This was on the 1 minute. And 1 minute started breaking the highs, then it continued to move up. Same trade. Yeah, same trade. Very nice. Let's get the Naruto eating ramen. Does this happen right now? On the 1 minute. Ah, nice. Yeah, that was the target by resistance. These two, because we don't know like if price is gonna break through this area. We only gonna know that like when a candlestick closes above it and then starts moving in that direction. Otherwise, like, you don't know. It's gonna just reject that zone. Is 5 pips per trade profitable in a $200 account trading on gold? Oh, 5 pips. It depends on the market condition, because before I used to risk like 1% at 3 pips. You know, even trading like GJ, because like the stop losses were very tight. Depends on the market condition. Sometimes we would even get like 5 pips on gold. 1-to-1 would be like 5 pips. So you're like, look how small these losses are here. This is GJ losses like 2.7 pips, but obviously not using a hard stop loss because of the slippage. The spread is already 1 pip, so just manually close. You get like very tight stops in normal market conditions. Stops are really tight. But I think what you gotta focus on is not the pips. Focus on the percent. Like, why focus on the pips? The pips don't matter. Like, I can have a 3 pip stop loss and still make and still make 1%. You know what I mean? Your account will not know the difference whether it's 1% on 10 pips or 1% on 100 pips. It won't know the difference. So just look at your strategy for what it's capable of and then just follow those rules. You see here I made like 0.5 pips, 0.5%. Oh wait, no, this is oh, this was, what the hell? This was even a 1 to 2. This is definitely GJ. Yeah. Just a 1. What the hell was this? Signal RR, 0.5, close RR. Oh, so I closed at 0.5. I closed 4 pips. Okay, but it went for a 1 to 2, probably. Yeah, this was in 2024. 2024. So like even on gold, people used to secure it. Like in 2020 when I started trading, it was like 10 pips. 10 pips was the norm for a lot of people because usually by the time we got to like 10 pips, it was always somewhat getting ready for some pullbacks. But nowadays we're seeing 20-30 pips. 20-30 pips on average before any kind of pullback. So you see how that condition there changes. And over the years, you just get better at reading PA like this. And then like adjusting towards it to really leverage off those movements. So now imagine I've come from a 10 pip market already trading this profitable. And you've put me in a market where we're doing 20-30 pips on average. What's going to happen to the results? They're only going to increase. They're only going to get much more exuberant. You know, that's why 2025 was my best year. Because 2025 was gold's best year since like 1979. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, it was pretty good. Like if you started trading anywhere from 2020 up until, or even before 2020, up until 2025, then you can really see just how amazing commodities markets have been. And yeah. But if you're cut from that cloth, then you will be able to take advantage. Because the PA stays the same. Like the pushes are only much bigger, but the entry confirmations and that sort of thing are more or less gonna be respected the same way. That you don't even need to adjust your stop losses like exuberantly. Because once you get your entry confirmation, it will just go in your favor. Or at least it does for TFX concepts. So that's what we do. We just keep it the same stop loss. We only tweaked one rule, which was structure, because the rule that we had before is like it had to be below like some kind of a structure or beyond the structure. That's the only thing that we tweaked. And we said, okay, you don't need that structure at this current market condition because you're not going to get it without a big stop loss. You're not going to get the structure without extending big. There's no point. There's no point. I remember like even during when Trump was becoming president and like gold kept selling off, we couldn't get stuck in because the stop losses were too big. But what I didn't know was that price, or I didn't perceive it this way, but price was not pulling back. So based off of price not pulling back, that was the edge. Because of what was going on macro fundamentally, creating that volume, price not pulling back. So you had nothing to worry about extending the stop loss. So it's like pretty nice how that works out on gold. TFX concepts. What's the price setting up right now? Small little breakout potentially loading up. Yeah, this is gonna be I think this is gonna be, let's see, what month are we in? February. We got one more month for the quarter to end here in March. Let's see, quarterly time frame. Like we can get a strong quarterly close. Just get through that daily resistance. Probably see the quarterly candlestick close like this, like a very strong bullish quarterly close. At least above 5,200. That's what we're gonna be waiting for. Just need to get through this level, chat. Now, the only question is, how do we mop up this range? Because I suppose we get like some news over the weekend. This war with Iran escalates. Probably is going to mop it up all at once. It could be quite aggressive. I hope it like gradually goes to that level like this. So at least we get a couple of days to take advantage of that. Because remember, just because it's also like moving fast through that zone, it doesn't mean you gotta feel like FOMO. It could even mop it up. You could be waiting for this. We could be waiting for this the whole time, and it gets mopped up by like one candle. Like you see even how the cells came in so heavy. I even see one candle mop it up. But if that happens, then you know it is what it is, right? You must never feel FOMO because like the fact that it's even doing that is a good thing because it shows you that there's volume in the market. So you will still definitely be able to capitalize off those like sharp moves on other days. But yeah, these would be a lot more straightforward, especially for those pre-session Asia moves right over here. Beautiful accumulation, that is. With this trade, my February comes to 40% and my target was just 20%. All thanks to TetraFX concepts. Let's go.
We don't do that.
Oh, wrong one.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
The quicker it gets filled, the less FOMO I feel. I get more FOMO from seeing it printing with no entry. Feeling like a slow feel, but that's the reason why we trade the 1 minute, because even if there's no entry on the 5 minute, okay, fine. If there's no entry on the 1 minute, then it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just gonna, you can't do much in a situation like that, but just randomly hit a buy and then hope it goes in your direction. So when it does that, don't worry about it. Like, just let it go. Like, trust me, the market is so full of opportunities. You literally have nothing to worry about. Like, don't worry about even missing, even if the war against Iran like creates more exuberant pushes. Some people are still learning this year how to trade, and they've been learning in really, really nice market conditions. As you can even see, since 2025, we had this really nice bull run, lots of swings. Like, it's amazing market conditions, because realistically, anybody learning for the first year is going to take them to be profitable much longer, especially because you're learning on your own. You're going to have to like fail and try and fail and try and fail and try and like create your system. So that will take you like about a year, at least a year of like fully locking in. But the idea is not to make money for the year. The idea is to use these market conditions as a good environment to learn how to trade. So that's what COVID was for a lot of people in 2020. Correct. And then when you finally get to the point we need to be, then don't worry, like there's gonna be always something. Always gonna be something. So I remember like during COVID, man, it was like the same thing. So many people like making so many nice plays, and I was still learning. And I just had to shift that mental to just accepting the fact that I'm just a student and I'm trying to figure this out on my own. But it took me it just took me just about a year, a little bit over a year as well. It's just locking in exactly like some of we all do, like tuning into live streams daily, and just making sure like most of the work is put outside of when I was just tuning into streams. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's it. Just make sacrifices, and your future self always thanks you for it. Build that character, know where you're heading, and just stay focused. Take breaks. Learn how to take breaks. Don't give up. There's a difference between giving up and just taking a small break. Like, learn how to take breaks. What people do is they give like this short give ups where they take like a month off trading and say, oh, I needed a reset because the market was humbling me too much. But you see, that's a problem right there, because you're not where you want to be yet. So you shouldn't be acting like the market's doing something wrong to you when it's just teaching you. You know, so you don't take it like a negative thing, but take it like as you just shift your mindset type of thing. So that way you can take a break, but you won't get discouraged. And you just like keep going every day, trying to get better. And you know, it happens all in God's timing. Like everything literally happens in God's timing. Just trust the process. Let's see what's going on here. They're showing like some small little struggle to keep pushing up. Trust that process. Fix versus growth mindset. Yes. Because I've watched people like really put their head down and actually get shit done. Like I actually was at the same level as this girl, I think, when I started trading. So this was one of the channels I used to watch. During this time I had no idea this was even honestly ICT concepts just trading. I don't know if she's always been trading ICT concepts. But I was on the same level as her. And watching her, she was just journaling her journey and learning how basically to trade. Right? She was learning how basically to trade over here. And it's like this is it, man. Like people are gonna just put the work in. The only difference with her, she was like journaling and making these YouTube videos, but putting that work in, bro. And now it's like a whole different story. Now, if you go from the oldest to the latest, it's a whole different story. And I was at the same point as her, I think, in like 2020. And we were all just doing the same. I didn't even know she was trading ICT concepts. I was just admiring the grind. Right? For me, it's just looking like smart money concepts. I was just admiring the grind. Right? Because that's where it is. That's where it's at. Getting it out the mud. You know what I mean? So I think it's a pretty good story over here. Man, unfortunately, I had to delete all my videos on YouTube. You know, because YouTube, for some reason, has a problem with my videos. I don't know what problem it has, but yeah, that's, I guess, just the way it is. Can't do anything about it. So I had to remove my videos. It's okay. Some channels, they get away with not having disclaimers. Like, I think this channel doesn't have disclaimers. But channels such as mine, for some reason, need some kind of a disclaimer. But Mamba FX and Alex G can flip $1 to $1 million, and that's fine. Exploring internet world. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, ma'am. Vic, the trading space needs help. I saw someone trading horoscopes. Was that what's her name? That woman from Singapore. Damn, I forgot her name. She trades using spirituality. So she says, you know, your spirituality, it needs to be in line. So the candles are going to print ahead, and then you're going to be in line with the way a candle prints. But man, like I did all of that as well, like in the beginning, all that spiritual stuff, like to try and really align myself with the market, binaural beats and everything. But then I realized, man, the market gives two shits. It gives two shits what I did spiritually. Like if I meditated, if I got enough sleep, if I had breakfast, it didn't know the difference. So I stopped doing that. So part of my daily routine was like 10 minutes of little spiritual alignment before losing money. Yeah, that's how it goes. And then I was like, okay, you know, like this is not working for me here. I gotta focus on education. I gotta focus on actually learning something. The spiritual powers that may be. I manifest a full margin, 0 drawdown, 1 to 100, 100% win rate. Just do the opposite then. Get so bad at trading. If you're not getting any better, get so bad and do the opposite. And that's going to be your strategy. work on getting even worse. Oh no, actually just keep doing what you're doing. Because now if you work on getting worse, maybe you're going to get better. So keep doing what you're doing and then flip the script. Let's see. The move is expected to ease trading costs. I think the last time we got fundamentals was 2 hours ago. Let's see. Now trending upward. Overall technical setup will favor gold bulls. Analyst says commodity could now attempt to climb towards immediate resistance by 5,500. So it looks like we are targeting 5,500 here, market sentiments. But I feel like 5,500, that's still definitely a while away. 5,500 is shy of the all-time highs. So I would say like for this daily target, remember like yesterday someone asked me if price is going to move up or down. I didn't know, but we still wanted to see price move up nonetheless towards 5K mark. So we did have the candlestick move up with the FOMC meeting minutes. And today, I would say like daily bias would be, let's just measure this out. We're probably heading up towards 5,100 psychological here by this resistance. We might even end up closing this resistance for Thursday and then keep moving up for Friday and then like, you know, close off the week over there. Keep moving up bullish. Then this is where we're going to be active right here. Above like 51.23 next week, we're going to be quite active in these zones, provided that we come up. But I think we should, like with that weekly candle flip, we're pretty close to the daily. As you can see, like literally or like right here, pretty close to the daily, reflip, break above, then we're going to be active above. 51.22. I guess some bison. Yeah, get some bison. Let's see. US 100. Little break in a retest of this area. It's attempted to push up. Looks like it just slightly faked below. Fake below, pull up again. Human psychology is not built for trading. Like why? Because it requires a lot of work. You know, it's because it's the same thing like the gym. You know, like I think what is a statistic? There's a pretty small statistic of people who actually look like at a certain level of fitness, and it's not that the gym doesn't work. It works, but there's only a few people who are gonna actually put that type of a work in and commitment. Correct? Like if you look around like a day-to-day basis, if you go to the street, go shopping, whatever, not everyone is looking like proper fit, but the gym works, right? It's the same thing as in trading. The gym is like trading. It works, but not most people are gonna commit like in that same level. And the thing with the gym, it should be even easier because think about like all you gotta do is go to the gym like twice a week, at least twice a week. If you want to see some kind of a gains, put in the right amount of sets and have a good diet. Like that's it. But you're only showing up to the gym like twice a week. Correct? Like it, in theory, it should be easier, but it's, you know, it's even difficult to show up for just those two times a week for majority people. Now you imagine trading. Now trading is like you showing up every day, brick by brick, every day. You know, most people are just not cut up for it. I think that's it. They get discouraged too quickly. And then they just kind of like give up. They give up and start. You know, the problem is a lot of strategy hopping as well, without any kind of a direction, looking for a holy grail that's gonna work out all at once, instead of like focusing on a few fundamental aspects of what the market is. Because the market in essence is quite simple, especially for a retail trader, because it's only going to move up, sideways, and down, right? In that essence, it is quite simple. So you just have to take the foundational aspects and look at literally like all the angles of how a trade could look to be consistently profitable, you know? And it just comes from passion. If you're passionate about it, then you are going to be more willing to go through that. and take risks as well. Otherwise, you know, the thing about life is don't take risks. You're going to be in the same spot for the rest of your life. And getting comfortable is something that most people like to do anyway. So that's the reason why it's so difficult for human psychology. We're just not built for, especially with the way life is for us. You know, life is so comfortable. You can order anything to your doorstep. You can order a Bugatti to your doorstep, food to your doorstep, groceries. Like the way life is built for us is supposed to be like so comfortable. You know, but this is very uncomfortable. You know, like Steve Harvey says, what do you say? Get comfortable, be uncomfortable. Something like that, you know? And trading is not a comfortable. Steve Harvey says, success is not a comfortable procedure. It's an uncomfortable procedure, success. Making money is not comfortable. Giving that money away is not comfortable. You know, even when you start making a lot of money, you have to get comfortable with giving away control of that money to some degree to make even more money. Success is a very uncomfortable procedure. A lot of people, they're like penny pinchers. They're like, oh man, $50? I don't want to invest $50 in my education. I want to do this instead. You know, like they're just very much penny pinchers. But you can't be a penny pincher your whole life and expect something to change. Because to get what you didn't have, you have to do something you never did. That's what my boy Denzel Washington says. So it's all there. Nothing is hidden in the universe. You know, it's just like when you're going to wake up in the morning, like you just got to see how your day is structured. Are you doing things in alignment to get what you did not have by doing things you never did? You know, you got to do that audit and then see for yourself where the problems are. But again, you know, like in the Matrix, some people are going to protect the system. So as much as you want to give like these advices, some people are going to protect the system. They want to protect the system and say, and put limitations on you on what is possible and what is not possible. So you got to be careful about those matrix protectors. They will want to keep you within the code and tell you, Ricardo, you can't do this. What's the probability you're going to do this? You got to say, no, I'm going to do it anyway. All right, so we got price coming in. Beautiful little accumulation here still. This is still at a point A, very key point A. Getting ready to either come down. Here, I think it could come down if it breaks below that support, right? So that's still what I'm kind of looking at. You see now it's still rejected. We rejected resistance and heading over down to that support region right there. That 5K mark is looking quite appetizing for the sellers. Once we start getting beyond support, they will be probably targeting that because these are like magnets, right? Like these levels, like we've seen time and time again on the stream, like they're like magnets. So when price like wants to start breaking and correcting ranges, they're going to be looking at those fills. But if it creates like a support and it's already created like some nice range here as well, it could come back and retest the highs like, you know, 50-20. Yeah, I can order anything. In essence, if you never want to leave your house, you never really have to leave your house. You can just get everything at your house nowadays. It's starting to come down. Yeah, like 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Don't get too comfortable. Never get too comfortable. It's also the reason why trading is hard on human psychology is execution. It's just a lack of execution. Because at some point, it's not even about knowledge anymore, because you're trying to solve an execution problem with knowledge, right? And you can't do that. Like, that's also human psychology. That's why institutions, banks, etc., these traders, they all have in-house psychologists for their traders. Because sometimes it just comes from a lack of execution. Because, you know, when you don't take risk, they say anyway, like, no risk, no Rari. But in essence is, if you don't take a risk, then you end up standing in the same place. And the longer you stand, the scarier it gets. Like, if you ever watch these people who try and do bungee jumping for the first time in their lives, and they're really hesitant to jump, the longer they stand on the ledge, the more they're not going to do it. And, you know, eventually they can just say, I'm not going to do this. You know, but there's something interesting that happens with the fear, the aspect of fear. It's just an illusion, you know, because before you jump off, let's say your fear is gonna be, this is the average, it's gonna increase, and then the moment you jump off and you are already through it, it will come back down to normal. Right, I think like Will Smith did really good episode about this on one of these like new Nat Geo documentaries, where he did the same thing. He like jumped off a cliff and he was trying to explain. He went to this country that measures its GDP based on happiness. I forgot its name, and he was trying to figure out like, what is this thing, happiness, and you know, also how is that tying up with the fear and everything, because it's also a happy experience. And watching that like spike and then come back to normal. So this is like kind of, oh wow, look at this, coming down to 5,000 over here. 5,000 mark has been hit. Let's go. Yeah, like that's just, it's all in your head. Like just get comfortable with building habits. So like building habits around certain behaviors which are positive, and then that just becomes a little bit more natural, because the more times you jump off that cliff, you know, eventually this sign, yeah, you might get a spike, small spike obviously, but it will not be as what do you call it, like much of a big deal. Won't be much of a big deal, because some people in trading, what they're doing is they're over risking their accounts, and they're putting these challenges and everything on a pedestal. So for you, this is how it feels, right? It feels like very big. And you know, that fluctuation over a period of time, it makes you angsty. It does affect you. If you know you're always this kind of a person, it will affect your nervous system and everything. And sometimes you get overstimulated. And that's not going to be good for what it is that you're doing, because it's a quite stimulating environment over here. So you just always want to remain as stoic as possible and take control of that aspect of the human psychology, because it is something that you have to train, correct? But look at this, break of the lows, straight down to 50,000 psychological mark over here. It just mopped it up. I think on like just one 2 minute candles. Just started breaking away from that accumulation. That's why you should not practice not giving yourself room to negotiate with yourself. That's why you should practice not giving Seems like NQ is falling to make a new high. Yeah, just focus on your craft. Like, literally, just ignore the noise. Just keep doing and moving in your direction. Everybody kind of got their own life. That's something I kind of accepted, especially when I started this trading journey, was to accept the fact that everybody kind of has their own lives. Like, not everybody is gonna see or envision things like the way you want them to be. So you just have to be that person who you need to be, for yourself, not for anybody else. And it becomes a lot less complicated. Life. Things become a lot more black and white. A lot more simple what you need to get done. But yeah, now this has become already the range fill down to support. Probably gonna need to set up again to come and retest back towards the highs here again. So it's just always gonna be the same motion. Boom, fill the range. Point A to point B. Now I'm gonna set up another point A and probably come back up here. Retest that high by 50.19. Pretty simple, straightforward concepts over here. All you got to do is find a concept that is easy to follow, easily aligned, that you can see it. That's why I'd say the best setup is the one that you can easily see. And we don't have even more than 3 lines on the chart right now, because we don't even need this line right here. But that's the breakout line towards the support. I just got to set up something. You gotta give yourself room to psychologically think about the chart work. If you got too much analysis on, you're not allowing that free-flowing movement. You got too many lines, you got now a bias. Too much of a bias. Chart is frozen. I'm gonna try do this. Is it good? I think it should be good now. Let's see where we're heading. We just hit one support, but if it gets through this next support area, there's still some more free fall left for price below 49.98 over there. Still a bit more free fall left. Got about 78 pips. Cause I'm free falling. The Tracy Chapman song, right? Free falling. It's like, well, we gotta make this real here yesterday. You see this? This is the same idea. Same idea. Look at this. Look at our price free fall through the first range, and then it free falling through the second range. That's what's gonna happen here. Once we start to break below 49.98. We could say we got a pretty good probability that that's what's going to happen based on what we've seen happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's what trading is. That's how you make money. You don't need to come up with new ideas every day. You just gotta free falling just like this. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every day. Reinventing the wheel every day, you're going to create yourself more problems, right? Way more problems. Just focus on what works and then execute on that same idea every day and milk the market for what it's giving you. Don't change anything. If that's why they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? You just keep doing you. Focus on yourself, focus on your concepts, focus on what makes sense to you. What you see that happens on the chart over and over again, you got to focus on that. So if you're getting like FEGs here, all this means, if there was an FEG, I don't know, but if there was an FEG, it doesn't mean FEGs don't work. It just means the probability that any FEG here to work was just a lower probability on this specific day. And you just gotta look at the hit rates and the consistency of those setups, that when you draw it, that it's somewhat consistent. Where you trade every day? Yes, sir. 1 to 3 trades per day is what the doctor had prescribed for me. At first the doctor had prescribed like 1 to 2 trades, but you know, I decided like not 3 trades, but only if you're on a W. Like if you're winning and you have more wins, then you could take a 3rd trade. But an ideal situation, an ideal prescription for most people will definitely be like 1 or 2 trades a day for a day trader. That's it. That's all that you got to do. I'm still gonna be here. Woods, I cut my own hair. Nice. I used to cut my own hair. I wanted to learn how to give myself like proper fades, so I'd always be fresh and never need to go and, you know, go get an appointment. I gotta go get a fade this weekend as well. I get a fade like every 2 weeks. But I could never, like, it's an art, man. Like doing the fade and everything, like I could never get it. I did it for like a whole, maybe like how long was I cutting my own hair for? Like maybe like 1.5 years, possibly. But I could never get the fade right. Like it's quite difficult. I could get a proper cut in, but just not like the perfect fade. I think like some things is just better left to professionals. But even Elon Musk cuts his own hair as well. Like being able to cut your own hair is actually a very nice skill, and that all started like maybe more than 2 years. That all started during COVID. Yeah, 2020. One. Now I was trying to cut my hair for like freaking long time, a few years. Like it was good. It was good. It was not bad. It just wasn't finessed like properly, but you wouldn't be able to tell, really. And it's a freaking amazing skill to be able to do. You look fresh every day. Clean cut. Drake cuts his beard. I think Drake trims his beard every 2 days. And he has a personal barber who does that for him. Every 2 days, the man's always lining up his beard. Feels good to get a fresh cut. You know, because you know when you get a fresh cut, is you're giving that person confidence as well. You know, so beyond just a fresh cut, you're giving them a confidence, which is, I think, you know, quite important over there. It's the same thing like in trading. Whenever you get like some good education, you're giving the person confidence. You know, like the trade's gonna look good. When you take the trade, it's gonna look good. But above all else, you're giving the person like some kind of a confidence, you know? I think that's what you kind of need in life. Same reason why people dress well, get haircuts consistently. It's like, you know, look good, feel good. You gotta wake up in the morning, so you want to feel good. You know, so when you have a trading plan, when you wake up in the morning, you're gonna feel good. Because, you know, you have something that you've built, right? And all you have to do is follow that thing that you have built. And then you're gonna separate yourself from 90% of everybody else. You know, if you're prepared. Because that's what luck is. They say what luck is when preparation meets... or success is when preparation meets luck or something like that. Yeah, we just gotta be like prepared. Right? So every morning, just get prepared. Have your trading plan right next to you. Have exactly what it is you're looking for. And when that moment arrives, you've already put in the work. It's not time for you to be backtesting, second guessing, and that sort of thing. It's time for you to just execute. Because from that data, you've seen that you will lead to a certain result if you just take that trade. Even when you feel uncomfortable, that's the moment you're meant to jump in. That moment you feel hesitation, uncomfortable. Man, that's the moment you got to grab the bull by the horns and say, I'm going to do this now. No more of this. No more of this scared shit. You know, and these are things you're gonna learn like throughout your whole life. You know, God gives you opportunities throughout your whole life in different shapes and forms to build that, that type of a confidence. You know, because like imagine yourself getting ready for a presentation and you're about to present to a whole classroom, right? If you go in there mentally thinking like, oh, you're not ready or unconfident, that sort of thing, it will affect your presentation. It'll affect your speech, the way you present yourself, your energy, and people are gonna feel that as well, correct? But if you go in there and say, you know, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna do this, people are gonna love me, they're gonna hate me, I don't care, I'm gonna do it the way I need to do it to prove to myself that I can do it. That's when you start to build that narrative around how your life is gonna unfold. You know, but if you're too worried all the time about like what people think, you're getting like too much energy gonna be affecting you. So the same way like in the markets, you know, if you're letting someone influence you too much, then that's also gonna, you know, gonna affect you. So you have to find ways that you can remain confident in the way that you approach the market, in your concepts towards the market. That's why I'm, you know, when I talk about TFX concepts on stream, very confident, you know. You don't like second guess. We just want to see how price gonna react on our levels, and if it wins or it fails, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, as long as you're approaching it with a good attitude. See here, the 1 hour still tumbling, got like 60 minute hourly closure, spiking below 5,000, holding 5,000 quite nicely. Got a really nice dip here below. So how many pips was that? About like 28, close to 30 pips on the break of the wick. Still definitely got room to fill up here. We're shy of 65% of the range by like 22 pips. But right now, since we're like respecting 5K, I think it was quite an important area, that 5K. So even if it dipped, the buyers are like, nope, we're going to bring it back up to 5K. And now you see it's setting up here again. It's setting up here again. It's trying to break above. You see the buyers are trying to like respect 5K over here. So price can attempt to move up to fill this range. This range here is going to be about like, you know, 136 pips. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty nice over here on the 5K mark holding, and then candle closes 30 seconds, re-breaks the highs to continue pushing up. Could be a possibility. Daily time frame is up 0.50%. And yeah, overall daily time frame is bullish. We're definitely seeing a little bit more bullishness because previous days were bearish, Monday, Tuesday. But with the FOMC meeting minutes, that's kind of like shifted gears a bit on gold. Now we're having a little backing here, especially with breaking the previous daily highs. It's a good sign. We're still in the inception of this possible bull run towards resistance, but it's a good sign that the buyers are feeling good about this move so far to the upside following yesterday's daily close. Just gotta see how 5K holds. You know, it's like sitting on 5K right now like a park bench. It's sitting on 5K, the buyers here, and they're gonna see if they can unwrap the sandwich, and then they're gonna start eating the sandwich. If, you know, if we can start getting up a bit here, they're gonna sit on 5K like this. They're going to sit on 5K, maybe retest 50-20. But that was a fat rejection up towards that 5K mark. It's quite an important zone. This is all that we truly have for now. The other psychological mark is by 5100, which is way above that daily. It's towards that daily resistance point. All right, now all we got to play with here is like $5,000 a troy ounce. Let's see, NQ drops again. Oh, NQ is tumbling from this little accumulation here. That's kind of like what I've been kind of looking at to see, because you see it's in a distribution phase right now. It's currently like paying out the sellers from this section. You see just a like small little break and a retest, and it is on its way down, still selling off. You're gonna see the higher time frame, see where it's free falling. Oh, nice, kind of like correcting this range. Look at this, another range fill. TFX concepts. Another range fill. Awesome. And now it's still bleeding. Oh, it's still free falling over here. Holy. It's just a dip, bro. It's just a dip. You gotta take a buy. Oh no, it's dipping again. Maybe another dip. Yeah, another buy over here. This is how people trade Bitcoin. It comes down, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. But that's also creating a lot of liquidity for price to keep pushing down. Keep buying the dip. Alright, we just got like one range that was filled. It's not 100% strategy, but it's pretty good. One range has been filled from here to here. Another range now is getting mopped up over here. So we can even see it on NQ. We can even see the free falls. That's why when you guys talk to me sometimes about FVGs, man, I don't see FVGs. All I see is no VGs. Because most of the time, at least in my reality, is like prices going through those levels. It's not rejecting those levels. Because, you know, like you got to see like what price is currently doing to anticipate where it's heading to next. You know, so if we're starting to break below support, where are we going to be heading to next? You know, from point A to point B. If we break below this support, where are we most likely heading to next? You know, like same thing like right over here. And right over here. And now it is attempting to do this. Well, this low volume. It's taken a while for this 5 minute here to break, but it's finally breaking. It's attempting to break. Need a strong break at least. But now it's attempting to move from here to play around this area right over here. And in my point of view, it's already got a liquidity grab below. If there's no shock in the water, it should at least give like 20, 30 pips before any like strong reversals and that sort of thing. You know, but this is day trading. The more you day trade, the more you keep doing trades. Like you're going to take like 10 trades a day. Any system is going to be a losing system, right? So you got to always focus on the time that you're in the market with the concepts that you're trading and sticking to 1 or 2 trades a day. That's all you get to do. If you can't do that, then I think you're going to be fighting a uphill battle because, you know, they say the house always wins, right? House always wins. More you're at the casino, longer you're in the casino, you're going to lose your money. But if you go to the casino for like, what I used to do when I was a kid. So when I discovered the casino, what I used to do was I used to go casino with my mates, like maybe over the weekends would be there all day. So would like lose a lot of money. But like after school, when I didn't have a lot of time, I would be in the casino maybe like 1 hour tops. 1 hour, 1.5 hours, right? Like every day after school, I'll get off the bus. Sometimes my friend would be waiting for me right off the bus. Quickly change and then go casino like 1.5 hours. And those times we used to make money. We used to have a little bit of money that on school days, you know, we would just go and kind of like do what kids do when they have money, you know? And then like that was more sustainable than on the weekends when we had planned, right? From like morning to let's say lunchtime, we would most of the time not make money. But we used to mitigate that risk by drinking free beers and having free food, because the casino would give you like free drinks and free food. So that's how we would manage that risk. And it got to a point that we knew that we were losing money the more we're in the casino. So we literally just used to start going for the free beers, because that's what we're going to use the money on anyway. So we just went on slot machines, sat on the slot machines, because you're going to lose money slower on a slot machine. So, you know, we're going to manage our risk. Manage our risk so we can maximize the gains on this end. You know, so that's what we used to do. So like trading is the same thing, that same mental model of if you can't control the profit, control what you can control and use that to your benefit. You know, and that was the whole idea behind TFX concepts. And that's kind of like the origin story of TFX concepts. But you know, a lot of people, their origin story is always going to be like profit, 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 high reward, high reward, high reward. You can't control that part. You got to stop focusing on what you can't control. price coming down. Downtown. Downtown to Pound Town. Just a bit more NQ. At least mop up 65. Here. It's shy of 65 by quite a bit. It's already been dumping quite heavy all the way from up here. All the way. There are also clean ranges from here to here, and then from here to here. That's why price moved through it like so smoothly like this. Like you see, like zero resistance. Another one. Aren't like a lot of like these ICT guys must be complaining about the market, because right now, at least of late, like these ranges have been getting mopped up. Like if you're trading ICT concepts, your communities must be complaining about how price is going through those ranges. I don't trade much of NQ, but I see it happening quite a bit, especially here on Gold Spot. That was a pretty big drop. Goldie's struggling a little bit, but it's trying to pull up, but I think it's accumulating. Yeah, it's accumulating here on the 1 minute. So I think it like re-breaks the highs. Probably gonna it's gonna increase the probability again that 5 minute can continue to play up to the upside. But you see, it's in kind of like a struggle right here because it's battling between that 8 SMA, and it will need to at least re-break that top wick over there to increase the probability for it to keep pushing up bullish. If it starts re-breaking the lows, it's definitely like some kind of a reversal signal there, because it's taking time. It's taking time. Fighting with that 8 SMA. ICT. I just tuned by the stream. Hello, Shadow X Time. Welcome. Are you new to the stream? Just realized I was 10 minutes behind. Don't know how long I've been behind. Yeah, it's reversing. I treat everyone like a lemming. I'm willing to help, so if I'm giving presentation, I don't feel fear. Very good. People gonna imagine crowd like in their underwear, like Justin Bieber at the Grammys. Just imagine the crowd in their underwear. And you're gonna say, oh, that's not so bad. You will be surprised. Like, people are just really good at what they do. It doesn't mean that they're overall super intelligent. That's why I kind of had to realize over the years, because I used to think like, as you're growing up, you used to think and look at people like, like people, and some of these people you surround yourself with, they seem like pretty smart people. But as you get older, you start to realize like people are not really like that as smart as maybe for me personally I thought people were. And then you start to build confidence in your own abilities, once you have like something to gauge based upon. Like, it's just the same thing like Epstein said. Epstein worked with a lot of like presidents, right? And these presidents can rank anywhere from war leaders in Africa to famous actors who become presidents in like first world countries and that sort of thing. And what he said was, actually Epstein said this, that in Wall Street, when he went to Wall Street, during that time, he used to be a trader as well, right? That only 15% of traders could do multiplication, right? To be a trader, you just had to be able to add. That's what most traders were capable of, just like adding. right? And he was talking about some of these guys who make like $400,000 a year. And some of their jobs were literally to get an order in. So you get a guy call in and say, hey, I want to buy $50 million of XYZ. And his job was to write that down. And I actually met a guy like this who worked for, I forgot the company, I think it was Goldman Sachs. He's a guy who's dating one of my, or he was like the husband to one of my cousins, right? And he was work Goldman Sachs, drives a really nice car. Asked him, what did you do for, like, what do you actually do? Like, how does that look? Right? He said his job was to take the order and like give it to a desk. And also like Epstein said the same thing. I was like, damn, you know, that is true. Like, these guys get paid so much money, but they're not really geniuses. Like 400 grand a year just to write something on a piece of paper and then give it to the trading desk. Man, that's an easy job. That's light work. You know, and he said, if you could do multiplication, you'd be part of the 15% of people who are like traders on Wall Street. So you don't really have to figure out the market as much. You know, the real truth about trading, in essence, what it is, it's actually execution. Because when you boil trading down to it, it's a very primal, instinctive thing, right? So if you can execute, if you're confident, you make money, right? At the end of the day, you have to know what you're doing, but you're only going to know what you're doing based off of your education. But if you don't know what you're doing, then you're just gambling. And when you're gambling, you don't have confidence. And, you know, that's when you blow accounts. So yeah, that's what it is. Like, people are just not as smart as you think. Like even Epstein said, like some of these warlords, some of these presidents, their financial literacy skills were so poor because they were only good at what they knew, which was politics. They were amazing politicians, but in these other realms, they're like financially illiterate. And that's why Epstein has so many friends. You know, he's able to see life from all these angles, and that's what gives you confidence and helps you like solve the problems a lot easier as well. And you kind of like a more focused overall. And so once you realize a few things, because in the realm of trading, nobody can talk to me. Nobody can talk to me. Like when it comes to even the people I surround myself with, nobody can talk to me. This is my thing. This is my thing. When I go start doing something else like real estate and another business model I'm not sure of, I understand where I am at, and I understand the steps that I need to take to be on that same level as this guy, right? But I don't approach other things I don't know about with arrogance. But trading, nobody can touch me. This is my thing. But, you know, just knowing that difference, I think can help you excel in a lot of areas in your life. You just get better. But you always have to be honest with yourself. Like, where you're currently right now, where can you possibly be? And what steps do you need to take to get to this point? Minus the ego and arrogance. Because when you get to that point, then you can be arrogant. You know, at that point, you're good and you know what you're doing. But you have to have the results. All right, let's see. NQ coming down. Of course, always remain humble and everything. But I guess just kind of know when to do it. Like let's say if you're starting your trading day, you don't want to be like super arrogant, because that day could be a day that market's going to humble you. Correct? At the end of the day, the market will humble you if you get overly confident with yourself. So you just have to like also be cautious. You know that old saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? I don't believe that. I think what doesn't kill you makes you sharper, right? Because what doesn't kill you make you stronger doesn't make sense. If you get shot on the leg or on the chest, you're not going to be a stronger version of yourself before you got shot. If anything, you're going to be weaker. So what doesn't kill you makes you sharper. Right? So if you get shot, you know why you got shot. So you're not going to repeat the same mistake again. So now you're going to be moving much more smarter. You can put yourself in that situation again. Right? So in the market, you want to be sharp. Like if you get a day where the market is taking your money, you got to figure out why is that market taking your money. So the next day you're going to avoid that and make like some kind of a progress. And if you make money, you know, stay sharp and see like how you can keep making money. But what doesn't kill you doesn't make you stronger. It makes you sharper. So, you know, I think it's a more positive way to look at it as well. Because sometimes, you know, when you look at character development in the market, sure, it makes you can argue, you know, it makes you stronger, but you don't want to be a stronger loser. All right? You want to be a more wise individual coming out of that. So every day the market teaches you a little bit of wisdom. It's just all a matter of like, can you get that wisdom, right? Are you listening? Don't be an NPC. But anyway, prices coming down. Looks like the first break above the highs was a failed reaction. So as I said, you know, it's not always a case where it's just gonna swing like this and then swing back up, but it would have increased the probability. But you know, the difference here was that the market gave you a reversal signal that we even spoke about. If we started breaking these lows, what was gonna happen? You see this? And you see what happened over here. So we became sharper from having that same thing happen to us over and over and over again. I started waking up, and every time that would happen to me, I was like, oh, this is it right here. This is the market giving me that lesson that I already learned. But now I'm not stronger. Now I'm sharper. So I know how I'm going to manage my risk on that trade. So like if I took a buy here for demonstration purposes, right? So if we took a buy here, stop loss, let's see, whatever. And then price just started to have that reaction, you would reduce your risk. And if you're not even in the trade, that would be a potential entry confirmation. It's like a little bit of a head and shoulders as well, right over here. A little breakout, a little fake out, break of the lows, and then distribute to the downside. You know, and then that works out beautifully. So I think it's really important. That's why we say it on the chart. Don't be arrogant. Only maybe after the dealing is done, like Kenny Rogers says. But when you're at the table, you have to be locked in. You know, like don't count your cards, don't count your money while you're still sitting at the table as well. But when the dealing is done, then you can reflect a bit better there with your confidence. But anyway, look at this. Price is coming down. You got another range right over here. Like 86 pips. 86 pips down towards that next support. This one has got mopped up. Initial mop up was here and then it pulled up again. A little bit of a fake out, reversal confirmation. There's an entry right here, and that's currently what is in distribution to the downside. So we got TFX entry here. We got one buy that failed, and then right back after we got the sell, and then that played out. So now it's mopped up this next range right over here. It's going to be looking to fill this next range below 49.88. And then it'll just keep going over and over and over again until the buys start to come in. You see, like right now, there's so much bearish momentum that even the buys were not able to play out. Instead, it did like a cheeky, one last cheeky fake out here. A little bit of a cheeky liquidity grab before it started dumping to the downside. It doesn't mean like you're bad or wrong about that trade. It's just like a probability of the buy playing out was less in this scenario because the market was going to go down anyway. You know, so it doesn't matter like what. The only thing you could have done differently was how much, maybe if you take a buy, like how much you could have lost, or like how you'd approach a scenario like that after the fact. That's where your W's sometimes come. Like what you learn from the experience of that trade and then how you can get better from it. So in this scenario, since we've already done all the groundwork, it's the only thing that would be different would be that even potentially switching the bias to take a sell or just managing the risk on that first initial attempt, like generally speaking. That's how we would go about it. But there's only two ways. If you're going to take a buy, it was destined to be a loss, because the market condition was moving down. But if you're planning on taking a sell, then it was destined to be a win. Right over here, you take a sell, beautiful sell. And that's why that daily bias sometimes is so important. So a lot of the time, like if you're going to trade with a daily bias, then I think you're going to have a better chance of just being on the right side of the market. Because sometimes you just kind of like got to be on the right side of the market, you know. We're getting like loads of range fills today. Look at this NQ filling up quite nicely. Goldie filling up. Let's see, German 40. Ooh, German 40 is also moving here. I feel like it's because towards the end of the week and market's been consolidating since the beginning that we're having the volume kick in. Sheesh. German 40 got like this head and shoulders here too. Much larger one. So that 30-minute boom, boom, boom. Fill up that range. This looks a lot more aggressive there on German 40 though. This is my thing. You know what? Why I also said that? Because I've met like acquaintances. You know, like they know I trade. They're like some friends of mine, like who see my channel before. They know I trade, right? But when we're having a conversation, they kind of want to talk over me because they want to. I don't know what it is. Like something about traders. We're quite passionate about what we do. So instead of listening, he was telling me about like how he's losing money in trading. So instead of listening to my advice, he would rather do the talking. So this is one experience I had where it's like he just kept doing the talking, telling me about his losing experience, very well knowing that I'm making money trading, right? And then there's just that arrogance, you know, it's just arrogance of thinking that you know it all. But if you're not getting the results that you don't want to see, listen to the guy who is getting those results. But you know, he left that conversation with nothing, because you know it was like a friend meetup, and then he gave me his spiel. I listened to it, and then we kind of like moved on. So it's like, awesome. You've given me information that you're a losing trader. You know what I do, and we're just gonna leave it there. Amazing. Great. Brilliant way to live life, right? Brilliant way to live life. Don't be arrogant. Like, people are good at what they do. Listen to them. Listen to them. Like, ask them, you know, like how you make your money. How does that work? You know, let them tell you, man. People are gonna open up, especially when they're quite passionate about what they do. They open up. But I was very arrogant as well in the beginning of my trading journey. Like, I thought I knew it all till I didn't. And that was a huge life lesson for me, because that changed the whole trajectory of my life from that point onwards. Even right now, I feel like I'm still quite ignorant about certain things that I'm trying to work and always play the devil's advocate to fixing those things. Oh wow, look at this volatility. Okay, this over here spiked about 14.5 pips. Boom, boom, boom. Can we get through this level? Quite an aggressive push that was. That was literally in within a 1 second. Spiked down, and then pulled back up. It's tumbling. It's trying to get through the zone. We got about like 12 seconds. I think it just like pulled some orders in, because the candlestick was about to close, so it just went to pull some orders in before the candle closed. Did you hear that? If you're on a new summer profitable, you love those moments. Yep. Weekly flip in NY or on Freaky Friday. What's everyone thinking? Yeah, we should probably get a weekly flip. Weekly flip over here soon. I want to see weekly flip NY. NY session would be the session. But why is Goldie struggling here? You see, we're even down below that 8 SMA there on the daily. See how it's like a holding price. Is this thing gonna free fall? Massive pullbacks. Yeah, those are pretty big pullbacks. I don't know why it's pulling up so much, but I guess it's because it's already, like, technically speaking, that thing has really dropped. Like, markets all seem to all be dropping. Gold is dropping, German 40 is dropping, NQ is dropping, range is all getting filled. Not sure. We don't have any. These are like technical moves, right? It feels like big money. Big money is moving the market right now to have this type of a correlation. Keep up the good work, mate. I'm a testimony of your education. Sir Keenit, thank you for that comment. Suppose gold fill up the upper range on the 4 hour and now is going towards filling the downside. On the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, this is like one of those booby trap candles when like the candle moves at lots of volume. And then the next one rips down. Seems like that's what's happening here. You know what? Goldie is quite interesting. Like, let's say, okay, fine, we got FOMC meeting minutes. But some, I don't know if y'all watched FOMC meeting minutes. What happened, if anything important was said regarding? Obviously, something important was said, but to what degree was it like super important? Because I didn't see anything major headlines. Because yeah, we did get a push up, but also like selling off this heavy, we already saw 0.7080%, I think, right, on gold. Now it's back down to 0.30%. Oh my days. Wow. Wait, let me try to pull this up. Remember Trump was supposed to host this Black History Month yesterday, and I said he's gonna say something like, I love the blacks. I love the blacks. Look at what he did. Look at what Trump did.
She was so beautiful and so great, and she gets it, you know. More importantly, frankly, she gets it. I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago.
Damn, he almost said I love the blacks. That would have been a poly market bet.
So beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, Nicki is so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that. But she was so beautiful and so great, and she gets it, you know. More importantly, frankly, she gets it. I love Nicki Minaj. She was here.
He almost said, I love the blacks. I wonder what the poly markets were, what the poly market bets were on this event here. I love Trump. He's like, you know, when white people try not to be racist, but it comes out as racist. that's what that kind of felt like. You know, like I used to have this one boss, right? Because I'm mixed race. She used to try and kind of break the ice with me, but she would break the ice with me talking about black musicians. I'm like, bro, this is awkward. Can we not do this? I understand you're trying to be polite, but it always comes out as kind of obvious. I like your curls. If you look at the higher time frame, gold is making higher highs and lower lows. Yeah, on the daily, you see that's the thing. That's why we're waiting to see if this thing's just gonna rip up. This is just gonna rip up. But right now, just creating new lower lows there on the daily for sure. It is still. That's why whenever I see price move up on gold like this, how we saw today, this feels more of like a technical push up. But the only thing that was different though was FOMC meeting minutes. So it could easily just have been follow through from the something that happened yesterday. But at the same time, it looks like Goldie is still not out of that rut. It's most like, you see, like Trump right now is distracted, man. Like he's distracted. He's talking about Nicki Minaj. Like, come on, man. Like the market's not going to move when you're talking about Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj's face and nails. DXY having a beautiful breakout. You don't use the DXY as confluence. Not really. Because it's like a lagging. It's a really lagging indicator. But the DXY is moving up. It moved up yesterday, but you see also like gold moved up yesterday. So what does that mean? Both of those instruments moved up. I love it. US and Israel prepare for potential major war with Iran. You know what would be a shame is for the crypto market if the war escalates and then crypto still doesn't go anywhere. Because they're heavily lacking fundamentals for it to move up. You know, for gold, we just know we gotta sit tight because it's just around the corner. Things can't be peaceful for too long. But with crypto, on the other hand, like this could just remain like this for as far as even coming all the way down towards like the 50s. Right now we just tapped 60k. We could come down, pull down all the way down to the 50s because crypto space is gonna be a bit quiet. If the war doesn't help, which I don't think it should. Because people look at crypto like gold, right? Because you see, like with gold, we got base currency, a gold spot versus the dollar. You got Bitcoin versus the dollar. It's like people look at like digital gold, but it doesn't necessarily follow the same procedures as like if the dollar weakens, it doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin is going to go up. Because I think the sentiments are all kind of twisted here. You know, because people see value in Bitcoin in all manner of different ways, whereas people see value in gold as a safe haven. So you see that frequency, that signal it's sending out is just not clear. But you see with gold, it's a very clear signal that it sends out. It's a safe haven, right? So it'll react accordingly to what's happening in the world, which is like kind of what you want to be aligned to when you have an instrument. I'm not sure how it is with NQ, but when you got instrument, you want to see how that aligns and reacts to real world events. And preferably it's not lagging. Like when it has those reactions, it's not like too much of a lagging reaction. So that's something we're going to monitor here and see, because if the war happens, and that means for NQ, because this is US stocks, then it should come down. Right? Like NQ should continue to sell off whilst gold moves up bullish. That's something we can pay attention to. I think NQ on the weekly time frame is also in this like accumulation area here. So if a war does break out, you see it's a bit of uncertainty as well. That's why the market's kind of like halting for now. I think the main thing they're looking at is those tensions and then the rate decisions. The two main things. So I'm probably going to sound like a broken record, but that's like literally all that there is. There's no point for us to go now and investigate CTO data and all this unnecessary smart money jargon, because that's not going to move the market an inch. It doesn't matter what happened 10 years ago, you know, on your CTO data. Like it will just only matter to now how this war progresses and how we get our rate decisions. That's why I got a bit of like risk off right now. So I think it's like super important to understand that aspect. And that really takes your level. Understanding that will literally take. It's such a small thing, but it will take your level, your trading to a whole new level. It's such a small thing to lock into. That will take your trading to a massive level, right? Because now you know exactly like how the markets are gonna be pausing, when to pause, in line with like the world, and the move when the world is also moving. That's kind of where you want to be. You don't want to be doing too much work when you don't need to be doing that much work. Changing of Lagarde. Wall Street returned from its 3-day weekend on Tuesday to another day of AI-related angst, and the market churn that briefly saw VIX volatility gauge stock some of its highest levels of the year. The main focus of the macro world later will be the FOMC's release of minutes in January meeting. Usually a relatively adorned readout, but one that could take one or on more significance amid debates around AI's impacts on productivity and inflation going forward. In geopolitics, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas said on Tuesday the US and Iran had reached an understanding on guiding principles in nuclear talks. The prospects of a final deal remain unclear. However, oil price has trimmed some losses after falling 2% on Tuesday. It looks like more or less the same macros that we've been waiting for as well on gold. US public approval of Donald Trump's immigration policies fell to its lowest level since his return to the White House. He is losing support amongst American men on the issue. Blame ICE. ICE was kind of wild. That whole ICE situation, that's why he had to pull them out. Trump started his term with his overall approval of 47%, but in the recent weeks, his rating has hovered at the lowest level of his second presidency with 38% of respondents in the latest poll approving of his performance. Probably use like LADAR. I'm pretty sure the military uses LADAR by the border over there, Trump's border from Mexico. Because you know, in essence, you could dig a hole. You could dig you could find a house next to the border and start digging a hole within like a month or two to go underneath the house into America, or even back into Mexico if need be. So I'm pretty sure the military uses like LADAR to see underground as well. See if there's any tunnels, anything of the sort. Pretty cool. When did you trade today? You can go on the spreadsheet, just click on the link in the description box, and then you're going to have like all the information there. All the information is going to be right over here. Yeah, the price is coming down. It's going to be looking to still fill up some of this range. Like, see, we did not hit 65% yet, so it definitely still got some room for price down there. This thing continues to tumble today. Can we tumble? Eric Trump says Bitcoin will reach 1 million. I've never been more bullish on Bitcoin in my life. Oh, what is this? That's AI. There's no way Eric Trump said this. Let me try and get this up. 1 million. Yeah, crypto bro like that.
Bitcoin, but you've been big proponents and bullish on Bitcoin. And I know
This is
stablecoin is
AI
different than
chat.
Bitcoin, but you've been big proponents and bullish on Bitcoin as well.
We still are. I'm a huge proponent of Bitcoin. I do think it hits $1 million. I think it's one of the greatest performing asset classes. I mean, go back 2 years. Bitcoin was at what, 16,000? You know, where is it at right now? 70?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you look at the
It's
last
60,
10 years,
sir.
Bitcoin has gone up
When was this
70% a
posted?
year on average.
It's like
year
3
over
hours
year
ago.
for the last decade. Name an asset class that has performed better than Bitcoin. And now, obviously, you have lots of volatility. If you don't want volatility, you know, go invest in some muni. You know, go have a great time. Go invest in some treasury. You're going to have volatility with something that has tremendous upside. But I've never been more bullish on Bitcoin in my life. I've never been more bullish on cryptocurrency in my life.
And I know stable.
Oh, Lee. Bro is gonna be. This is what I said. This is Trump's bro right over here. Look at this. See from the reel yesterday. Volume-based trade. I don't like. This is the guy. This is the bro. This is your crypto bro. This is Trump's crypto bro. You see when Bitcoin is dumping and bro says it's just a dip. Oh wait, we got a copyright here. Gotta turn off the music. This is the guy in Trump's ear. Says just put a little bit more, buddy. You know it's just a dip. Just a dip. Then you gotta go into your pocket and find extra. Yeah, this is literally how it is. When somebody doesn't want to give their money away, when they're like kind of skeptical, but they got bad habits. Oh, nice. We got a 65% ear hit. 65%. Man, low. This is on NQ. Yeah, NQ. It looks like gold and NQ also having like quite a lot of pullbacks on that range. But also Goldie just came and did 65% of the range. Finally came to it. You see both of them right at 65%, having small reactions. But yeah, this last range, man, that was a difficult one. That one had a lot of pullbacks. Because also this one actually had one pullback, but the push out was much cleaner. It was like, 35 pips before the pullback. So I think that's pretty nice. But yeah, as we're coming towards the tail end of the ranges, expect some buy side orders to start coming in. I think it's possibly where people are going to be looking to buy the dip, because price has already moved so much that the probability it keeps moving here is like, it could happen, but you see it's not as clean because you have like wicks. You got wicks in the way of price action at this point. Whereas like all the way from up here is like a lot more free falling, and you could break through structure, break through structure, break through structure. Now we're like towards the bottom. On gold, yeah, gold has also sold off quite a lot. Like look at all these ranges. But the range on gold sell would be a little bit further down, because now you got to get through that support and then get through 49.75 to keep moving down there. So we'll still definitely have to push a lot more to get to that next point, A. I think this is where buyers are going to be looking to come in for sure. Might see some stronger pullbacks. He's not an authority on anything. His pumping and dumping, probably. But if he's not even an authority, how is he even gonna pump? That's the question. I don't think anybody's listening to that, really. But you know, like crypto people, they're gonna latch on to anything. Even something like someone that's that close to the president. Because, you know, I doubt we're gonna be hearing Trump speak about Bitcoin. And currently right now, if you look at BTC, it's not looking too good, right? Like now we just got to get through this support over here. That's by 66, and then we can come back down to fill this range. So we're going to leave this analysis on the chart, and then we're going to watch on the next stream how that cooked up nicely and how price came to fill this range. We're going to watch that next time on stream. And then you're going to see it's potentially going to keep coming down, break below 60K. That's on a monthly level, 60K support. And then price gonna continue tumbling onto the downside. And man, like once you get through 60K, curtains, man, curtains on Bitcoin. Right now, it's like, okay, we're trying to hold now 60K. You know, we've just been trying to hold the whole time, like since up here by 9600. And then it did that last fake out close to that 100K mark, last liquidity grab before it like really dumped. Right? But you see, crypto people, they're never gonna accept defeat. So what they're gonna say is price is coming down to 40 to skyrocket to 1 million. Or something of the sort. But you know, that's all like speculation. You know how difficult it is to speculate on markets like that? And if it did play out, that's what we call a black swan event. But come on, like a million. But you know, that's going to be like some kind of a black swan event. And the thing with black swan events, they're like pumps and dumps most of the time. You know, you're going to have like these really strong pushes, but it's not sustainable. Correct? It's not sustainable. Like GME. Those kind of like, because like that's the type of black swan for Bitcoin, because it's a volatile instrument, right? You know, it's a different from a black swan for the dollar or something like gold. Like 9/11 was a black swan event, you know, but that's different. Nvidia is also a bit different as a black swan event too. They see massive exponential gains over here, but this is a company you're investing in, people. So yeah, one thing we don't like to do when we trade, even on the LTF, we don't like to get lucky, right? Like we try and remove luck out of vocabulary as much as we possibly can. And only, especially in the investing world, none of this is investment advice, but you should try and remove as much of that luck as possible. Read Liar's Poker Book. Need global liquidity pump by CBs for BTC, but still old tech. So US 100 should be lifting up as well. You see gold spots lifting up. Let's see US 100. This thing is at the bottom of the range. Kremlin on Iran. This was posted, let's say, about 40 minutes ago. We see unprecedented escalation of tension in the region. I feel like there's a lot of distractions. Like Trump is not speaking on this matter. It's rather like having these funny videos. The White House is making these AI videos and then talking about Nicki Minaj. It's like all the distraction. Like something's cooking up here with Iran. Something big is cooking up. And that's when Raja's gonna make another $1 million trade. It's the best position to be in, you know, like when you don't feel like you need to trade, because at that point you don't have to do anything until something happens. So until the next time you get a volume, then he'll be like easy pickings, because price is gonna move up in that direction. As I said, like sometimes you just gotta be right about the direction of the market. Right? It's just gonna be easy pickings. So once you get something blow up, and then you're gonna see it on the chart, then you take like your one trade, and just let it breathe. Just leave your runner. What we're doing right now is just like trading the trenches, right? So we get really good at trading the trenches. It requires loads of discipline as well to trade the trenches. But that's why a lot of the time, like people made so much money here on gold that funded programs needed to, or like some of them needed to stop people from trading gold, correct? Because you see, when you're not trading the trenches, you're going to make a lot of money. Yeah, you're going to make a lot of money. So that's kind of, you know, when a program does that to you, don't think they're helping you. I think you'd rather second guess that program and maybe just go with one which doesn't have such a dumb rule. You know, because they don't have it in your best interest anyway. And it's like showing themselves a bit more when they make such rules like that. So that's why like a lot of people are making so much money on gold. Like, man, this whole time here, price is just super directional. But now it's even like all the way from back here from when we got the rate cuts, because the inception started in August 2025, right? And since then, it's just been in a bull run. And then the funny thing is the programs caught onto it later. These funded programs, they caught onto it like much later. They actually caught onto it towards the end of the bull run, because they could have ended it. They could have ended silver, gold, and platinum trading much earlier on in 25. But I guess it was like a slow bleed probably, or maybe like the general market kind of wised up to the commodities also much later. So it could have been that, because 90% of traders will catch on like a lot later anyway, because they're still not going to be profitable. right? So I think they caught on, the 90% of people caught on later on, right? And then they made like a burst of really good trades. Whereas, you know, for us who've been on this flow here since 25 August, we've just been anticipating rate decisions and just like leveraging off that, as you can see with the results. But I think like people, it's just normal. Like also like when we were towards the tail end, you'd see a lot more headlines, and people, I was seeing a lot more vice documentaries on YouTube. A lot more people are like talking about buying gold in New York, and like people getting interviewed about, hey, you know, you've seen gold prices of late, gold is rising, people are buying gold, people going lining up in shops. Remember, guys were lining up in shops to go and buy gold. That was all towards the tail end, chat. So, you know, like 90% of the same mentality people are going to be on prop firms because they're losing traders anyway. So they're going to find out at the end. But I think what happened, they found out at the end, made a lot of money, prop firms got scared, and then they canceled it. But now they canceled towards the end, but it's back to the trenches until we start to move up again. And so we start to break above like 50.93. Man, trust me, like you lock into the sentiments. Like if you've been trading for a long time and you know the game, you lock into the sentiments, and there's a pretty high probability what I'm saying is correct, because the stats are out there anyway. There's nothing that I've said here which is incorrect. Most people on prop firms are losing traders. What do losing traders do? They catch on to things much later. Why? Because of lack of education, lack of experience. They're just the same way as anybody else who invests into crypto when it's already at 100K. There's no difference between that and somebody on the street, because they both don't have education. The only difference is one is actually just trying to learn how to trade via prop firms, but they're still doing it from a mental model of lack of education, unfortunately, because at least they're in a position to learn something. But even then, they don't take the opportunities to do so. And sometimes it's not that they don't want to, it's just that they don't know how to, because they get too wrapped into the whole mix of social media, and there are certain communities that they're part of that it's going to take them years to finally break away and start to look and level up in a different manner. You know, it's an unfortunate thing, but like that's why due diligence is so important, and research. Like you always got to do research, and always got to be willing to see like what's the next best thing. You know, what's the next best thing that I can learn from to get better. If you're still in that phase. Yeah, but we got like one little shotgun play here. Didn't really distribute too much. Very light distribution on that towards the upside. Probably gonna start ranging again because we've just created ourselves a resistance right here. We got a support right over here too. Got support, we got resistance. Boom, boom, boom. 65% range hit. Probably gonna accumulate. So chat, like for pre-New York into New York Open, what I would say for you is like if you see price start to break above here by like 49.94ish, there's a pretty good chance we're gonna retest 5K psychological, because you're right below 5K psychological. We've been selling off since the London Open, and now we're kind of like bottomed out as well. So there's a pretty good chance that if we re-break that high, that we will be like retesting 5K psychological. So I think the reason it didn't do it here is because, sometimes the market can't just move in V-shaped formations. It needs to create a little bit more structure sometimes. But I do anticipate like once we re-break, most likely gonna like retest $5,000 a troy ounce on gold spot, and then we also still got clean range up towards like 5,003, and then more clean range above 5,003 to keep moving up there. But if we do end up selling off, then there's loads of speed bumps, I think, for the sells. So on the 5-minute, there's really no clean ranges for the sells at this point. It will just have to be like an accumulation break on the LTF. But for the buys, a little bit more straightforward. We're actually just gonna, let's label this here. Got potential buy above here, and there is a range that can get filled. About like 83 pips. Let's see. All right, chat, but I'm gonna head out here. Appreciate y'all tuning into the stream. And I will see you all in the next one. So see you tomorrow for Freaky Friday. Adios.
Now we bout to dip.